When we were kids, we both dreamt of tree houses. We didn't have them. Basically made our childhood dreams come true as adults, which is pretty sick. This tree runs all the way from the ground and all the way up through the loft and above the roof itself. I'm fairly small framed. I'm 5'4" and I'm a little narrow, so you can see how tiny the space is. So it's not every day there's a tree above your stairs and in your bedroom, but it is right here and you can hit your head on it. But if you can imagine the question, how did you get a bed in here with only that hole in the floor? And it's because we ripped up the floor, put the bed in, and then put the floor back down. So if we ever need a new mattress, it's gonna be a lot of work, which is kind of fun. Hi, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Gianni.
We're the husband and wife team behind the Treehouse, Utah, the only treehouse in Utah. When we were kids, we both dreamt of tree houses. We didn't have them.
I've always wanted a fire tower house.
So we couldn't get a fire tower.
This property with the tree house, it kind of already here, mostly the way we wanted it. It was awesome bones for us to then go and build what we wanted.
Yeah, basically made our childhood dreams come true as adults, which is pretty sick.
This was built by the previous owner and he used as much reclaimed materials. The walls are sawn from aspen and fir that were found on site.
Yeah.
The stilts were all reclaimed railroad structures. Obviously the tree was grown in before that he built this. So he did a very eco-conscious thing building this place. And then we've just taken it to our level that we needed to be able to rent this and share it with people.
And we just really love that it is truly made from nature. Every piece of it is as connected as it possibly could be. And that's one of the special things is, again, bringing nature outside into the inside.
So we've been up here 6 years total now. And this space was the first we remodeled while we were sleeping in sleeping bags, still trying to move the rest of our stuff up during the middle of winter. And what started as an easy remodel turned into frozen water pipes and frozen lines. And we had to put heat tape on everything, replace breakers, redo the plumbing, all to make sure this was still livable and runnable. Wanted to show you guys the outside and the construction on this. You can tell the deck and the base of it's about 12 to 13 feet off the ground, supported by not only the 200-year-old tree, but a bunch of 14-inch by 14-inch reclaimed railroad ties that I'm pretty sure go about 6 to 7 feet underground. Most of the external is all cedar shingle and then a lot of trim that was all milled locally off of fir from the area.
So the total height from the ground to the very tippy top is about 30 feet. Even just walking to the treehouse feels like a fun adventure because we have this beautiful walkway and this beautiful tunnel of trees. I don't let Gianni trim it even though he's taller and he probably hits his head, but I love that it's just an adventure. So right as you get up to the top of the stairs, the first thing you get to see is the magnificent tree itself, which is that 200-year-old subalpine fir that we absolutely adore.
So one of the things we get asked a lot about is this lantern. And the best story we have about it from the previous owner was that someone had it custom made for a big house in Park City. Then upon installation discovered that it didn't have
installation on the inside
of their house. They didn't have enough roof support to be able to hold the lantern. And fortunately, the way this structure is built, we have more than enough roof support. So it got installed here for a couple $100 of the lantern cost, and it was a $10,000 to $15,000 custom lantern.
The stairs, there's a lot of them because you are literally going 30 feet up in the air.
So we definitely like our decks and being outside here. So we went for about as big of a deck outside as we have space inside.
Yeah, like 10 by 20 feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is a lot to shovel in the winter, and there's a lot of maintenance with it, but what comes with it is the views and being outside.
And I love Gianni had this rebar idea, and also because he's very practical, he made enough space underneath so that you can actually just push the snow all the way off the deck. So it actually is really easy, even though it's a big deck to shovel. And the front of the treehouse is just incredible. The shingles make me feel like it's kind of nostalgic and old school, and more wood, of course, different types of wood. And then these just huge windows that really captivate you, draw you in, and make you feel really cozy, even though you're inside looking out. Thank you. Pups, you stay. Welcome to the treehouse. This is our main floor. It's only, gosh, probably like 10 feet by even 20 feet, so it's really tiny living. This space, when we first purchased the property, was previously built, but it was totally different than how it looks now. A gentleman had purchased it and built it for his kids, so it was just an empty playhouse that they severely underutilized. Their loss, our gain. We're really excited that we now have it. This is our living room. It's a tiny space. This is a little apartment style couch that we love to sit on. You got a great view from here. We also have a TV so you can hang out and watch movies, which is a favorite pastime of ours. Sitting from this couch, this is what you get to see. We have 270 degrees of beautiful windows because we want you to feel like we like to feel, where nature is connected to us. Even though you're inside, you feel outside. So if you can imagine, this is obviously lush green during the summertime, but we get a ton of snow at 8,000 feet, so we have a snow globe feel that when you're sitting here watching a movie or just sitting and reading, it's a wonderful space to be in. And I don't know if you could hear it when I was walking, but this floor is the original floor from when the guy made it. And it's nice and creaky. There's just a lot of character that's in this house that we really, really love sharing with people. And it's part of something that we feel really inspired to do, is retain the originality of spaces rather than shut them down, build them from scratch. All the windows in this space were purchased from a company that's a local upcycling company here. All of these are old case windows from older cabins, and we happen to be able to have them in the treehouse, which is really cool. So you actually wind them, and we've had a few of them break, and it's really hard to find craftsmen who know how to fix the windows. So it took us like 2 to 3 different guys coming up here who had these little pieces and these special little tools to be able to come in here and figure out how to crank them. So they've got awesome locks, and it's just a really tactile, beautiful way to experience and let the outside back into the inside space. So speaking of the creaky wood, which we have in the floors, you'll notice that the majority of the space has a ton of different type of wood. This is because it was upcycled and also wood found on the property. So the walls are wood, the rafters are wood, the stairs are wood, the cabinetry is wood, the butcher block on top is wood. And we actually wanted the tiling behind us to look like an extension of the wood so that everything was going to refocus back on the star of the show, which is the tree. And then over here is our quote-unquote dining room, perfect for 2. From a design standpoint, we wanted clear things wherever possible, like the glass table and these chairs, so that a small space would look and feel bigger. And I just love sitting here. Again, I love this view. And as I'm looking over here, I realized that one of my favorite things is the photo books that we have with a little camera. We rent the Treehouse, so if you'd like to come stay with us, we'd love to host you. And we've been renting for almost 10 years. We've hosted thousands of guests. This little book, because we often love to leave people to their privacy, we don't get to see people. So this camera, the idea was take a photo so we can see your face, which I absolutely love. Tons of couples come and stay with us because, again, it's a tiny space. There's lots of photos of our cats because our cats like to come and try to cozy up in winter or get some pets in summertime. And then we get to see names, faces, and all the memories that people share during their celebrations. I also love this handmade chandelier. It's all metal, and it's got the candles that look like they're real, but they're actually fake because wildfire is a big issue for us up here. This kitchen is not for hyper cooking. It is for just snacks, small meals, because the idea is more about connection rather than productivity. We have an induction stove, so we're able to cook. It's mostly charcuterie, which is a favorite of ours because we're Italian. We have a mini fridge, we've got a full-size sink, and then we have a hidden cabinet in here with a lot of your essentials: microwave, coffee maker, plates, wine glasses, because of course you want to enjoy a bottle of wine, and I can't ever remodel anything without a giant sink. You need to stack those dishes on vacation, don't actually wash them. Once again, back to the hero of the show, which is our 200-year-old subalpine Utah fir tree. This tree runs all the way from the ground and all the way up through the loft and above the roof itself. We had it bored out for testing to make sure it was healthy when we first bought the property and to see how old it was. And it's, again, 200 years old, which is really rad and incredible. It's about 70 feet tall. And what's funny is you'd never thought you'd have to do maintenance on a tree, but we actually vacuum it quite regularly because dust builds up in the bark and we want to preserve it and make it look beautiful. And it also does some shedding. So we pick up little pieces of bark here and there, which is just kind of like a gold nugget. I save a lot of them and keep them in the house. And we've had to cut off some of the notches because they come into inconvenient locations, like how to get to the bathroom behind me. But there is also enough space in between the tree and the structure itself, which is filled with insulation, steel wool, and this foam. And the reason for that is that the tree is a continual living being. So it's gonna keep growing, albeit at a small degree, but it's gonna keep growing and we need it to have space to grow inside of its home. Right next to the tree is our very tiny bathroom. But if you come in here, I'm fairly small framed. I'm 5'4" and I'm a little narrow, so you can see how tiny the space is. I sit just fine, but my husband, who's all legs, no torso, and about 6'2", those knees go right up against it, but everything's still doable. So even though it looked like it was really tiny to come in, that's only because the door is right next to the staircase. When you actually get in here, this is really nicely sized. This is a full-size mirror, and this is a sink, and this is a shower. And I've got lots of space in the shower, which I think is, really nice. So let's go see the creme de la creme, which is behind you and upstairs in the loft. This is how we get up to the loft. So it's not every day there's a tree above your stairs and in your bedroom, but it is right here and you can hit your head on it. My husband, who's 6'2", again, is much taller than I am. I have the luxury of being short. But this is the loft. The tree goes all the way through. We decorated it with fairy lights because I really love the idea of the magic that the tree brings to the space. And it is a little precarious because there is a hole in the floor, but you can always take a really awesome photo here. I love sitting here. I love looking out, again, another window. You're gonna get sick of me saying that. And one of the funny things about this space is that there is a bed, but if you can imagine the question, how did you get a bed in here with only that hole in the floor? And it's because we ripped up the floor, put the bed in, and then put the floor back down. So if we ever need a new mattress, it's gonna be a lot of work, which is kind of fun. This bed is incredible. The idea is that you can sleep and look up at the stars, which is, yet again, a beautiful way to spend time.
If you like this week's episode, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and check back soon because we have new unique home tours publishing all the time. And if you'd like to join our team and get access to members-only content and unique perks, make sure you click on the join button below.